Welcome to the metaphysical journey. I hope your week is off to a great start. I'd like to deliver a short, hopefully pretty short, three-card message on something. And I had a feeling what this was about, but when I pulled the cards, it verified that it was what I was thinking. And I'm pulling from three different decks. The first deck is What's the Tea? And this card is Forcer. Forces things on you, forces their way in, uses force to get what they want. Now, in this card, we automatically think of people, and we certainly have people like that in our lives, that they're just overbearing. They constantly give us their opinions, their ideas, their criticism, and they know exactly how we should be living our lives, even though their lives are dumpster fires, but we won't talk about that. But anyway, there's the people aspect of it, but then also too, there are different situations and challenges that come our way. And I want to focus in on those actually for the most part, because those are the things that will set us back. And I deal with this as well a lot. And sometimes the worst thing that forces its way in is some type of an energy where you're everything's going great, you're happy, and the next thing you know, you're feeling depressed and you're wondering, where did this come from? How did this happen? I didn't ask for this. It just kind of landed here, and you have to work your way through that. Now, always in those moments of depression or feeling like you're depressed, you will have some great clarity that does eventually come out of that. And in those moments, that time, you learn a lot of different things about yourself because it actually causes you to kind of withdraw, and you're in your head the whole time thinking about everything. But it's in those moments where you really get a lot of clarity. And with people that force their way in, we also get a lot of clarity as well. And we often wonder, why is this happening? Have you ever noticed that these things seem to happen right when you're on the edge of a breakthrough? You feel like something's just around the corner, and then boom, something or someone happens, and it completely sets you back. And you'll begin to think, well, maybe I've just messed up somewhere. Maybe I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Maybe this, maybe that. We think that so much, and we automatically start beating up on ourselves. At least some of us do. It's like, what did I do? What did I do? And it's the forcer. It's forcing its way in. It's not you. It's something coming in from the external into your space or your energy. There's a big lesson on this one, that if we are being challenged by something when we feel that we're on the edge of a breakthrough, there's a sign right there. Something's testing us. I'm not going to say trying to throw us off track. We throw ourselves off track easy enough, but it's testing us. And what would that be? And that's some type of a lesson. So in these moments, and whatever you're facing right now, and many of you could be facing similar situations, or when you see that card, it resonates with you because of your particular situation. But look at that. Look at what's trying to force its way in, and ask yourself the question, what does this mean and why now? And more than likely, you are going to find, when you really look beneath the surface frustration of it, look down a layer underneath it, and there is a lesson there. There's an opportunity for growth and development. It's something that happens to strengthen you and help solidify your resolve of saying, I am not going to let that force its way in. I know who I am, what I believe, and what I stand for, and that can just go. And you push back against it. How many times in our lives have we been faced with something and we've totally caved? We're like, it's just not worth the effort, whatever. How many times have you done that? I can't even count them personally. There's always something that derails me or causes me to detour around it, because it's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to face that. I don't need that. I'm on a spiritual journey right now. I don't need that crap. You know what? That's exactly what I need, because that is meant to strengthen me and help me move forward to be prepared for what comes next. So these little challenges that we're faced with, they are for a reason. It's the divine timing of saying, you're ready for this because you're ready for the next level. For every setback you have, just beyond that, if you break through it, there is a huge step forward. So don't lose faith right now. Don't lose heart or hope. This is for a reason. And things are trying to force their way in because they're trying to teach you, they want to teach you a lesson. And also remember that the people that we face, when you saw this card, if you thought of a particular person, that person is on their own path as well. You have a path, they have a path. And what they're doing on their path is what they have to do in order to learn lessons in a way that will be meaningful for them. If they could have done better, they would have done better. All of us can say that. Did we do better? Not always, no. But looking back, we can see how it led us to where we are right now. And the things that they're doing will lead them to where they need to be. As humans, we're all interconnected with each other. We learn, we grow, we evolve, and often take big steps backward as a result of these interactions with each other. So we are all in this together. Even when it seems like the person that you are dealing with is just so far in another direction, you can't even understand where they're coming from. I mean, seriously, think about that. There are times where people say, well, I wish you could see it my way. And your first thought, and you don't probably say it out loud, is, I would love to see it your way, but I can't get my head that far up my butt. Ever have those moments? Of course, we don't say that unless you've had a margarita or two. Then you might come close or just flat out say it. But those situations and the people that we deal with like that, it is for a reason. We do learn. And they think the exact same thing about us. So we all have these different perspectives, but it's in working through those that we gain more clarity in our perspective. And our perspective is what we need for our individual path. So the Forcer is the first card. The second card comes from the Unshakable Inner Peace. And this one, it uses size 3 font, so I'll have to wear my glasses. It says, everyone is on their own journey. How can you focus more on your own path? And that's the key here. We spend so much time focused on the forcers and the different people, their opinions, their ideas, etc., that we really put ourselves aside. I mentioned earlier that how many times in the past have you been derailed or detoured because you just don't want to fight about it anymore? You said, whatever, I give in, I give up. That's what we need to not do. We have to stay focused on our path. As light workers, empaths, whatever you choose to label yourself, it's all good. Whatever you choose to think, however you think of yourself, you probably spend a lot of time worried more about other people and making sure their needs are taken care of. Well, you have to stop that. We all have to stop that. We have to think of ourselves too and say, you know what? This is my journey. I want to progress. So I really have to spend some time with myself and deal with this. I said earlier that it's often in those times of depression that you spend that time in your head, and it gives you a lot of clarity when it's all said and done, because you have not in those moments. Think about this. If you're depressed, you're focused on yourself and everything, and you're not necessarily focused on other people. And that gives you that break that you need to deal with it. So who's to say, the depression and that energy may actually sometimes be a blessing in disguise, because it causes you to completely separate yourself from everyone, go within, and just think about everything. And a lot of times it's not fun to think about, and we get tired of the horrible music that we play whenever that happens, because it's all like poor me, sackcloth, ashes, the whole thing. It's just very dramatic. There's nothing worse than a depressed gay man. Trust me, it is nasty. So I'm just being honest with you there. But it is actually a blessing in disguise, because it gives you that moment. So this card asks that, how can we focus more on our own path? It's a beautiful card. You have a person it looks like they're up in the clouds, and you have dolphins and other a dolphin and some other stuff up there. They're just kind of free floating and just enjoying the space. Consider doing that. The last card comes from Divine Abundance, and it says, right now, stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled each moment. Many of you have probably heard, you would have heard it growing up in church or in different contexts like that of, we're never given more than we can handle. And there are many times that I would think, does the divine even know me? I mean, really, this seems like a bit much for me. But ultimately, in the end, it wasn't too much. And it's those really challenging times that you come out of it feeling much stronger. You're like, wow, I survived that. That was amazing. And that happens for a reason. It happens because each time that we are pushed to the limit, we stretch just a little bit further. And that's what we need to do. It's that stretching, that growing, because when we stretch, we fill in that extra space with more of our light, our energy, and we become stronger as a result of it. Remember that a diamond, you've heard this one a lot. A diamond is like one of the very hardest stones that there is. And look how they're formed. It starts with a chunk of coal. And, the same chunk of coal we probably got in our Christmas stockings as children, but it's under a lot of heat and pressure. And it slowly over time turns into one of the most beautiful, highly sought after and prized stones that there is. A diamond, it's beautiful. And a diamond in itself in the rough is it's okay, but it's when it's faceted, it's cut in many, many different ways that it really takes on this shine and brilliance. Everything that you go through, everything that tries to force its way in and you push back and stand your ground, that's a facet that is cut in you, the diamond. All the different times that you step back in your own space and focus on your path, those are also facets that are cut. Over time, you become this beautiful, brilliant stone with all these cut facets, and each of those facets represent trials, tribulations, scars, people that have hurt you, people that have betrayed you, people that have stolen or robbed, from you. All the horrible things in life we can think about that happened, that right now, when we look back, it's like, wow, my life has been littered by hardship. Each of those hardships were cut facets in you to make you a more sparkling and prized diamond. And that's what you are. You are a diamond. You're not in the rough. You are multifaceted. So you have many different things. Depending on how you turn, the light shines on a different facet of who you are. That's a beautiful thing and a way to look at what you're going through right now. This is for a reason. Whatever you're facing, I can't tell, but I can feel there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And I know what I'm going through. So we are truly all in this together. And that's the message I wanted to bring to you tonight. I hope that it resonates with you, that there's something in this that you can draw encouragement from. Know that you are where you are meant to be as a light worker, as however you choose to label yourself. You're where you're meant to be. I've said in readings in the past that you will often be placed in a very dark spot, in a dark environment, with dark people, with dark everything. And the reason for that is because your energy, you are the only spark of lights that's there. Imagine if you weren't there, what the place would be like. So however horrible it feels to you to be in that position, that environment, imagine if you weren't there. It would be pretty hopeless and a lot of despair for everyone else. So know that you always make a difference, always, regardless of where you are, what you do, who you interact with. Your light shines forward, even in the times when you can't see it. It's still there. People can feel it. So never allow yourself to despair for too long. We all do to a certain point. But know that where you are where you're meant to be. You chose to come to Earth at this time specifically for this purpose. We don't remember the missions we signed up for. We don't remember the soul contracts we may have signed, because there's a few pages I would certainly go back and rewrite them. But it is what it is. We don't know all of that when we come. That's one of the joys of coming to Earth. We have this weird amnesia. But that would have to happen because if you truly knew, if any of us truly knew who we were and what we're capable of, there would be no lessons here to learn. And that's really the purpose of the Earth classroom, to learn and grow and to deal with things in the different energies and emotions we deal with. Earth has emotion. My understanding from many different things that I've read and heard, that doesn't necessarily exist on the other side. They just have this all knowing of, what's going on. But on Earth, we get to experience all the fun stuff. And we have to do that because when we can overcome the emotions and work through the emotions and still progress and grow, that makes us so much stronger. So that means one day in the future, if you come back as a guide for someone and they're dealing with something, you'll be able to understand what they're going through. And that would explain why our guides have so much love for us, because they know they've been through it too. They've done exactly what you're doing now, and they evolved and grew from that. So that's firsthand experience with a lot of them. Angels are different, but the guides usually have lived before and they've walked the same path to some degree that you are walking right now. So definitely don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Everything is for a reason. It's going to be okay. It really will. Have a beautiful evening, and thank you so much for following me on the metaphysical journey. Bye, everyone.